Hi guys! Now for those of you who watched our Steer Smarts giveaway video, you already know what's coming, but today we're doing an install video. What are we installing, Kev?
Sliders! MetalCloak sliders!
MetalCloak sliders! So we've already got all of our hardware separated out, and we have our great friend Michael assisting us as well today. You guys might remember him from our snow wheeling video. He actually owns the super rad dark gray JL that was wheeling with us. I assume with 3 of us, this should hopefully go relatively quickly today. So we are starting by taking off the OE sliders. For those of you that don't know, these are our factory sliders. Kevin and I just have tubing welded to them. They were temporary, now they are not. Okay, so it's important to note that you will need to drill 3 holes, optional 4th hole, which I'll go over here in a little bit. But first, I do want to go over all the tools you're gonna need for this install. Kev. Now to remove the factory rails, as you can see, we have already done so. All you're gonna need is a 10mm and a 13mm. It's a couple of bolts. Take those bolts out, the whole thing drops off. It's very, very simple. Now for the MetalCloak slider installation itself, these are what more or less you're gonna need. You do need a 3/8 drill bit and drill. You're also gonna need a 9/16 socket with a short extension, as well as a 9/16 wrench. Of course, your impact or your ratchet. You're also gonna need a 10mm socket, a 7/32 Allen head, and a hammer and chisel. These are gonna be for that optional 4th hole that I was talking about earlier, which again, I will go over in just a little bit. So first things first, since we've already got these stock sliders off, we do need to go in and take these 2 fender bolts off. As you can see, Kevin has a handy dandy mallet with him, which helps to get that socket on there.
So these are painted and the 10mm doesn't want to seat on there. So you want to get it on there, get it seated properly. So that way you can get it off. It doesn't strip it.
Just like that. Now that brings us to the 4th optional hole that I was mentioning earlier. Now these 2 fender bolts here have a press nut that the factory bolts screw into. The front one though, you have an option. You can either reuse the factory bolt. MetalCloak also provides an M6 bolt that you can use in lieu of those factory ones, or in MetalCloak's instructions, they actually provide a 3/8 Allen head bolt, which one long one is supposed to go in the front, or could potentially go in the front, and a shorter one goes in the back. So what we've decided to do, we're gonna knock out that pressed nut from the front section, and then we're gonna reuse the M6 bolt that MetalCloak provided for that back end. And as we get to that point, I'll show you exactly how we're gonna do all of this. For ease of mock-up though, we're not gonna knock out this front press nut just yet. We're gonna actually go ahead and get the MetalCloak slider up, bolted in, so that we can mark the other 3 holes that we do need to drill out. So it's at this point that you take your 2 beefy male helpers to go ahead and hold up the MetalCloak slider. That way we can get a couple of bolts in there just to hold it into place. Just to hold it in place. That way we can mark where we need to drill. Once you've got these up, you've got 1 hole right here. We're gonna go ahead and mark that. You've got a 2nd hole. There you go, right in there. And last but not least is gonna be the 3rd hole at the very, very end of the slider itself. And from there, all you gotta do is take it back off. So it's at this point that we're gonna go ahead and knock out that press nut. That way we can drill all 4 of those holes that we are going to be drilling all at the same time. Again, the 4th hole is optional. You can choose to reuse the factory bolt should you choose. We just don't want to.
Look a lot cleaner.
Yeah, it'll look a lot cleaner opposed to having an odd bolt in the front compared to a different black Allen head bolt in the back. And yeah, so for the sake of symmetry, we're knocking this baby out. Okay, so again, it's this hole here that we're working with, and you can see that press nut on the back side of the pinch weld, which Michael here is gonna knock off.
He's gonna bust a nut.
And once you've got this bad boy knocked out, then you can drill your hole. And keep in mind too, we knocked out the press nut. You can also drill it out, whichever you choose, whatever's easiest. But from here, it's actually really easy. Okay, so now once you've got all 4 of those holes drilled, the rest of this is easy peasy. It's just a matter of putting the MetalCloak slider back up, bolting everything in. Obviously though, you do want to go ahead and try to spray paint, put either clear coat or black paint or something over those freshly drilled holes. That way you don't have to worry about rusting. And as far as bolting up goes, you want to make sure that you put all the bolts in first, kind of finger tighten them, but wait to tighten everything down until the very end. All right, and that's all there is to it. Pro tech tip though, Michael, this right here, a magnet will make your life significantly easier getting those bolts in. And of course, as you're going through, if for whatever reason a bolt doesn't fit, don't be afraid to run that 3/8 drill bit back in through it. Also,
if you don't have a magnet, you can just shove some tape inside your shallow socket 9/16, and that'll also help put like a bolt inside.
Poor man's magnet.
Yes.
All right, since it's nighttime outside, I'm gonna wait until tomorrow morning to go ahead and do a walk around so you guys can see what they officially look like. And there you have it, the MetalCloak Overline Rocker Rails and all of their beautiful protective glory. Hopefully we'll get the opportunity to test these puppies out in the very near future on the trails. But in the meantime, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. But as always, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you next time. Bye. Bye. He's got to quit interrupting my endings there.
No. My endings now.
Just me, or is it getting a little hot in here?